Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hey creators, this is Roland and welcome to the Writers Creator Space, a space where you as an author or aspiring author can get inspiration, advice, tips and encouragement on your self-publishing journey. This is episode 28 and today I will be talking about the importance of having a long-term mindset as a writer and author. Because it's been said that being an author is a marathon, not a sprint. And I couldn't agree more. So more on that a little bit in the show. And let's get into my personal writing news. Well, I have only one piece of news to share right now. And as I've been waiting on my editor to get back to editing my book, I have to admit that being patient is harder than I thought. I am 2 months, can you imagine? I've passed my, two months behind on my deadline. And being someone who loves to get things done and who loves setting deadlines and meeting them, this has been hard. But what I thought in the meantime to do was to start writing another book. Now, I know this is crazy because I've got other projects in the works. So this would be, if I'm not mistaken, the 5th book that I am currently working on. But you know what? I had to start writing again because I couldn't just sit down and wait, because the thing is I am passionate about writing. I love writing. So I couldn't keep just sitting and doing nothing. So I am right now, I would say I am halfway done with this book that I just started, I would say probably 2 weeks ago, so which is great. I love this. I've got an idea of what the book should be. So what I do know that it's going to be another devotional, just like my first book. So what I'll do is I'll tell you more about the book when I have written a bit more on it. Because right now, like I said, 2 weeks ago, I thought, you know what? I'm going to write a book and I've got a sort of an idea of what the book should be. So I'm going to start. And so right now I'm halfway, yes, but I don't have the clear map of the last part of the book. So when I do, and I know the title, well, I do know the title, but I want to share it when I have more, when I have written more. So I'll let you know what it's about. And the goal, of course, is to be done writing it. By the end of October. It's the deadline is quite generous, I would say, but I said end of October just to give myself time, because the real goal is I would love to be done with my book midway through October and get it edited by the end of October. But that's been ambitious, I think, because now I've realized, when I've set these goals, these lofty goals, right? Things seem to get in the way. So for now, I'll say I want to be done writing my book end of October, but I've got a more aggressive timeline that I'm trying to keep. So, but hey, I'm glad I am busy again and I love it. Like I said, I'm currently working on 5 projects right now. So there's the kids' book. There is Delayed but Not Forgotten. Yes, that's a second book. There's this devotional. That's the 3rd one. There's another book that I'm finished and I'm waiting for editing. That's the 4th one. And there's another book that I started writing. I'm probably a 3rd done with the other one. I won't share the title just yet. So yeah, there's a lot of writing still to be done and I'm still writing them. So it looks like I can see what's going to happen is that now we're in October, so I can see a situation where this year is me just writing all these things and hopefully get a book out end of the year, and then next year it's just releasing books. So I love that. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I don't have a clear goal, but this is the life of an author. I think, when for me now, all right, I'm 2 months over my deadline. So what do I stop and do I just then give up? No, I'm going to carry on writing what I write. So Anyway, that's my personal news. Let's get into the main topic. And like I said, being an author is not a sprint, right? It's a marathon. And I couldn't agree more because it takes time to upskill, and you don't just get up one day and you are a best-selling author. You grow into it. And this is one thing I am learning, right? I'm having to grow into being an author. There are so many components that make an author. And like I shared in my previous episodes, right? There's the business side, there's the editing side, there's all these things. You don't just get up and you just got them, right? You grow into these things. So what I want to really talk about is having a long-term mindset. And having a long-term mindset gives you a different perspective through the challenges that you face. Because when you focus only on the immediate, it's easy to give up when things don't go your way. But having that long-term mindset helps you push harder and hold on longer. And you're able to take more hits and what I mean by that, I mean as in, like you'll fall. But if you have a long-term mindset, then you're able to take more punishment, right? More hits, and because you understand that there is a process to go through on the road to succeed, right? You understand that, okay, if I fail here, I'm gonna learn from it, and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna push harder. So you can handle failure better because you know each failure is making you stronger. You know that you are learning more when you encounter hardship, challenges, and failure. And these are all the benefits of having that long-term mindset. Whereas someone who has a short-term mindset, I mean, when trouble comes, when things hit the fan, like, guess what? You don't have like real foundation. So it's like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to move on to the next thing, right? So being an author is something I think you need to think about as a long-term thing. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want to write? Is it because of the title, or is it because you'll be put in better books with someone? These are the kind of things you have to assess when you are deciding to get into this, because the best way you can get into all this is to have that long-term mindset. And another thing about having a long-term mindset is long-term minded people see a bigger picture, right? They can see much further forward. The person with this mindset understands that there is a bigger goal that will take time to achieve, and they are willing to suffer through temporal things to achieve that long-term goal. And this is so important, right? Because that's why you actually been thinking long term, because you know that, okay, I'm not just writing for myself. I'm writing to leave a legacy. I'm writing to leave something that is going to last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years after I die, that there's going to be people still impacted by that. And even with the business side of the book, right, I'm creating something, I'm creating IP, I'm creating all this so that my children can benefit from this, right? It's not just me, because it's going to outlive me. And I think a long-term mindset person is more easy to think about that and like to say, because I'm creating something that will outlive me, so this is good, right? And they can see bigger goals and they can dream bigger, and they're adding more things to this dream. So these are some of the advantages of having this long-term mindset. And lastly, while there's a lot more reasons, but from my point of view, and lastly, because I don't know make this podcast like so long, but I want to shorten it. And anyway, for the last point, long-term minded people understand that what they are creating will outlast them. And like I said before, right, we are thinking about legacy and posterity, and we are not happy with making a difference only today, right? We're not thinking about today only. Yes, we're doing stuff today, but we're not just thinking about today. We are thinking about we want our words to make an impact and difference years and years after we are gone. So we put our head down and make the sacrifices that need to be made to create work that will outlast me, right? And that's what I want. I mean, yes, I'm also creating stuff for now, because I'm still alive, right? So yes, I'm going to create books, but whatever I create now, I understand that still 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, it's still going to make an impact. Someone's going to read this book and it's going to be impacted, and I won't know, but I need to put in the work. And again, so with all these things I've shared, I hope you see that's why it's important to adopt a long-term mindset. It just gives you clarity of thought and clarity of purpose, because you need that when you are writing, when you're on this writing career. I mean, yes, there are people that do it as a hobby and, or someone who just wants to write one book, and hey, then that's fine. I mean, there's different reasons, but to get the most, I think, out of being an author, being a writer, you need to adopt this long-term mindset, because it's difficult, right? Writing is not easy, and being an author is not easy. But when you adopt this mindset, you can take blows, you can push, you can have this never say die attitude, you can think bigger, you can look much further, you understand that you're creating stuff that will outlast you, and you're okay with that, and you're making the sacrifices that need to be made. So with that, do you have more insights to share about this long-term mindset? And if you do have that, how has it benefited you? Like, how has it helped you? I mean, in your career, I would really love to hear how that has helped you. So please share them with me in the comments below or on my Facebook page. You can also email me, and as usual, the links are in the show notes. And I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to share it and consider giving this podcast a 5-star rating if you are enjoying it. So thank you for listening, and I will see you next week. And remember, you have something worth sharing.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.